Hey, Redeeming Life Church, I really miss you guys. Hey, listen, the other day I saw something on social media, not from any of you, and somebody said, oh, the devil has created this coronavirus. Well, first of all, that's stupid because sound doctrine tells us the devil doesn't have the power of creation, he only has the power of lies. And so that's just silly, right? However, it was a good reminder that the devil has the power over lies, and what he's doing is constantly lying to us. He's bombarding us with lies, getting us to believe something other than truth. And that is everywhere right now. Let me give you an example. Right now, on my chest, right here, there is a shadow of the camera. And I'm out here in the track area of the local school next to my house, and I have a Bible and I have a selfie stick. There is plenty of room here for the lies of the devil. Your video is not as good as the other pastors who are doing these kinds of videos. People are looking at you and think you're weird. On and on and on and on, right? We could believe those lies, or we could believe the truth of God's Word, and God's Word tells me that I want to shepherd this family that I love, and I want to share these thoughts with you. So the devil's a liar. Okay, and right now, in the season that we're in, quarantine, stay home, stay safe, all these things we could be talking about, it seems like a pretty good playground for the devil, and we don't want him to be playing in your world and in your life. So I just want to share something with you. It's Easter week, Holy Week, and I'm reading through the crucifixion of Christ, and in Matthew chapter 27 verse 45 it says, from noon until 3 in the afternoon darkness came over the whole land. About 3 in the afternoon Jesus cried out with a loud voice, and you probably know what he said, my God, why have you abandoned me? Man, that's interesting. Jesus felt at this moment of darkness in his life, dying under the curse and weight of our sin, that he was abandoned from God, and he quoted Psalm 22. Interestingly, that's when David was on the run. Here's a man who was anointed to be the king, and yet this other person, Saul, is still sitting in the castle. David's living in isolation and quarantine in a cave. He's running for his life. Sometimes he doesn't have food. Sometimes he's being attacked. All these things are happening. He has no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. A lot of uncertainty. Some scholars say that could have lasted as much as 14 years. 14 years. We read about it, in a couple chapters here and there, and we don't even grasp the magnitude of that 14 years. When you read the 22nd Psalm, you see the agony and the potential for the lies in David's life, and yet at the end of that psalm he's worshiping and he's proclaiming truth. What a good lesson for us from David's life. I would remind you of the Hebrews that ended up in slavery in Egypt for hundreds of years, crying out to the Lord, and many of those individuals never saw God even bring the answer, but the Lord was still there. The lie is we've been completely abandoned. Lie, not true. So they cry out, and eventually we see God work to his great glory. He was hearing their cries this whole time and journeying with them. We see, I'm reading right now my own personal devotional readings, that the Israelites were in a 70-year exile in Babylon. 70 years, hauled away, never sure what was going to happen. God was comforting them and saying, you're going to come back. You're going to get through this. It's okay. And then how about this one? The one we don't often think about, but turn to the book of Matthew, chapter 1, and then go back one more page. Right? You might have one of these blank pages like this one. This blank page usually just separates the Old Testament from the New Testament. And in addition, I'm going to turn it over and you'll see it just says the New Testament on one side. The New Testament, right? That's all it does. Yet, and some people say, well, it separates Malachi from Matthew. It also represents 400 years that we call the silent years, where God was not speaking through the prophets, and they were just going through their life wondering, is God ever going to send the Messiah? And in that time period, Alexander the Great had conquered the Holy Land, the area of the Israelites, and then the Romans came in, and yet God was working. They just couldn't see it. Alexander the Great united the languages to a common language so they could do business, yet also a great language that the gospel could be shared a lot easier, freely, easily. The Romans built roads that were safe, and it made it possible for Paul and others to travel all around the world in that known area and proclaim the gospel. We couldn't see, and maybe they couldn't see what God was doing, but God was doing stuff. So the lie is, I'm abandoned, I'm stuck at home. The truth of God's word combats those lies. So that's my encouragement to you. So here's what I'm going to do, and it's probably going to make for a weird and wonky video, but I'm going to go ahead and take a little walk. Here comes Lydia. Lydia says hi, by the way. We're going to take a little walk, and I just want to talk about some practical ways. Let's get this adjusted. There's Lisa back there. I just want to talk about some practical ways that we can think about this. We've been telling ourselves a narrative that staying home equates to staying safe. The truth is God has our days numbered, and God is our protector, and He's our refuge, and He's our strength. And so we know that we're safe in God's hands, and He is our fortress. We also know that we need to do our part to love our neighbors, and so some of this is to help us to do that. So let me see. I got this wonky selfie stick. All the more reasons to believe lies about what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you. That means sometimes we got to do these weird things when we go to the grocery store, like that, and it looks silly and it looks weird, but that's how we love our neighbors. And the lie that we might believe is I look like an idiot. Well, the truth is you look like an idiot, but your identity is not in how you look with a mask and the rest of us. So we do that. Okay, I want to encourage you to get out and flourish. God calls us to flourish and enjoy the life that He has provided, and He knew this was going to happen in our life. You are not needing to be isolated in a prison of your own home. That turns the place where you could be worshiping the Lord, doing all kinds of things, into a place that you despise, and that's the devil's game too. I just want to encourage you, church. We're going to get through this. This might go for months. I don't know. God knows. The lies are, I can't make it. The lies are, I'm just going to have to hibernate my way through this. The lies are, it's too hard. We got this. And as Christians, we should be able to trust in the Lord and flourish in this. So church, I just want to encourage you, identify those lies. Don't let Satan play in this game in your life. Kick him out, right? Like, he doesn't belong here. You belong to Christ. We're going to get through this together. And church, we're going to figure it out. Nothing is going to look the same on the other side of this. I don't even know what a worship gathering is going to look like. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know what's going to happen. But God does. And so the truth is, we're going to hold on to Him, and what He has for us is good. So, Lord, church, I miss you. Hold on tight to the Lord, and Lydia and I say goodbye and do well, and we will see you hopefully soon.